Right, hello guys, welcome back to FTRL, and today we have Division 2 around Monza, so let's get some of this stuff up. Now I am by myself tonight, so I do apologise if it's not quite what we normally have, but I will try my best. Already got Marcus in the chat with hashtag Team Renault. Which is nice to see. Let's have a look at the Renault boys are out on track. See Posh. You see first car out. It's looking like he's got a lot of space. And Peatman just about to leave the pits. We do have the return of Rich T Gaming, but has changed his name to British Beanhead. So it's nice to see him back. He will be returning for the rest of the season and further, I believe. Oh, there's a Haas in the back. Is that House of Zom? It is House of Zom. And he's been disqualified for parking in a dangerous location. Now I'm assuming he just didn't want to come back on track and block everybody, which is a bit unfortunate. So let's have a look what everybody's on. Who should we go on board with? We'll go on board with British Beanhead since it's his return. We'll see how he does. So, any predictions? Let me know in the chat who you think will get pole and your top 3 for the race. Interesting to see a few of the guys out on the mediums. Hammer Time is the only driver on a different set of tyres. British Beanhead looks like he's pulled out of that, so we'll go for somebody else. Aaron looks like he's about to come around and cross the line actually, so we'll stay with him for a minute. Oh, okay. Must have been validated. Michael C's done a 121.6 on the supers. So all the times are coming in. 22.2 on the mediums for Pagani. FTRL hammer time 21.8 on the softs. Oh, Pagani's had to go off track a little bit there. Not too sure why. A couple of cars getting in each other's way onto the grass for Pagani, which won't help his tyres. Who else? Let's have a look. Prototype Steph coming round at the final corner. Let's have a look. Up to P2, great lap. City Posh out in front at the moment though. Not looking like anybody can get close to him. House of Zom in the chat saying his controller disconnected and it black flagged him. Yeah, that's unfortunate, mate. Very unfortunate. Marcus is going for a City Posh pole, which is looking alright at the minute, and then a podium of City Posh, Peatman and Agent Panda. Well, it's a bold call. So Aaron hasn't set a time yet, and he has come back in. I don't know whether he keeps invalidating on his lap, or he just can't string a good lap together. Either way, 12 minutes remaining and he's not set a time yet. One of the Mercedes is in as well, onto the podium, also not set a lap time. As we go on board with the Red Bull, he comes across the line with a low 20. The closest driver on track to get to City Posh. But still not quite enough. And he's also taking the the barriers. He's taking the barriers with him as well. Yeah, it's a bit unlucky, mate. Keep going though. Long race. Plenty of overtaking opportunities around here, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. So, the bottom three still running cars, yet to set time. Aaron looks like he's about to come back out though, on the yellow walled tyres. As the Williams comes in. Oh, Sauber just got ahead of Aaron there. Is that hammer time? Yep. He slowed right down though. I think he's going to let Aaron pass. Oh, no. They're just letting the guys coming through. British Beanhead and Agent Panda. Well, House of Zom, that is dedication. That's what we like to see. Now, still no Guy Carp, unfortunately. Still caught up in work. Ten minutes left then. Aaron on his out lap. A little bit of traffic ahead. Might not be a problem though. Ooh, I think that's Agent Panda. Getting out of the way. Agent... Oh, sorry, no. City Plash is retired. I don't know whether that was on track or not. Donzo still in the pit. Right, let's have a look. We'll go on board with Aaron. No pressure. Braking at the 100-metre board. Over the curb. I think you can get away with that, so I don't think that will invalidate. This is a very hard corner. It runs out wide a little bit. That was nice. Under the board, DRS open. That was nice through there. Very easy to invalidate going around there. But he has dealt with that quite well. I think that's still the Sauber of hammer time behind Aaron. Getting a little bit of a toe. But here he comes. Aaron goes P7 on the softs. Now I'm wondering if he's going to actually do a super soft run. He may or may not. Onto the podium, about to complete his first timed run as well. Here we go, across the line, P4 for the Mercedes driver. As he slows down to let through the Force India. Alright, let's have a look what's going on in the chat. Panda's Games saying he loves this track. I agree, it's not too bad. City Posh saying he was up by 4 to 5 tenths. So I'm guessing you crashed on track then, which is a bit unfortunate. So Agent Panda is now bringing up the pack with Bendel. Let's have a quick look. Aaron has gone back into the pit. Pagani's about to finish a run, I think. It looks like a slow one though, so he might be pitting. Next is Jack on the softs. Coming around the final corner. And improves massively. P6. Great lap on the softs. Put himself ahead of a few very quick guys, so I'm sure he'll be happy with that. Still 6 minutes left though, so anything can still happen. A lot of guys returning to the pits, I'm assuming to quickly chuck on the supers and go for another run. Flag starting another timed lap on the supers. He's done a couple of laps on these tyres though, so they're not going to be in the greatest shape. Well, I said the tyres won't be in great shape. They're definitely not going to be after that. Now, I don't know whether that was because of one tyres and he's just put his foot down a little bit too much, but bit of a mistake there from Boy Fag, which you don't normally see. Michael C coming to the end of sector 1. 26.3. Now joined by Bob Taylor and Boy Phoenix. How are you guys? Four minutes left then. Still half of the grid in the pits. Oh, Toro Rosso. Not the best of returns. Don't think he'll be very happy with that. Donzo is very close there as well. A decent lap. Just a slight improvement would get Donzo up another place. And that will do just fine. Very good lap there by Donzo. Up into 13th. Toro Rosso cleared. Yellows in sector 1. Yeah, okay. Big boys are out now on the supers, so we should see some decent laps. Fortunately for City Posh, he won't be in the fight. Oh, there you go. Aaron on the supers takes provisional pole. And City Posh will just be watching on from the pit lane. Lennon's still in the pits. I can hear an engine firing up though, so I don't know. Oh no, it looks like that's a Mercedes coming out. Bendel, another driver at the bottom, who just needs to improve slightly. He's not on a very good lap at the minute, so I don't know whether he's crashed or whether he's just recharging his battery. Right, here we go then. Slight improvement needed for Bendel. It'll only move him up one place, But again, I mean, he only needs 2/10 to get him up there, so best of luck to him. Nexus Cat's on the softs, quite interesting. Might just be trying to close that gap to the top 10 as much as he can. Not a big gap though, to be fair, very close grid. Boy Phoenix cheering on Aaron. Agent Panda has retired. I don't know whether that's on track or not. Didn't quite see. Yeah, a lot of the drivers retiring now. Bendo about to cross the line. Can he improve? There we go, P12. Very good lap from Bendel. Pagani down in 13th at the minute. He certainly won't be happy with that. 25 seconds left. Who have we still got then who is actually on a flying lap? Nexus is going slower. Michael C going slower in the first sector. Blue flag on flying run as well. Just managed to cross the line. This will be onto the podium's last lap. Aaron has finished, so he's done all he can. Yellow's in sector 2. Alright, let's have a look who's near the end of the lap, and then we'll see if we can follow them in order. So we've got Hammer Time coming around the final corner. I think he's slowed down. Yep, he has. So next is, who's ahead of Bendel, is it? Yeah, he's pitting, so it's onto the podium next. He crosses the line, stays P5. Michael C also crosses the line. I think he stays P10. Pagani has retired, so it's a disappointing qualifying from him. Boy flag down to the final corner. What can he do? All or nothing. Oh, he runs very wide. Across the line, he definitely improved and moved up, but I don't know where it jumped him. 4th, great lap. Well, very good qualifying. So Aaron takes pole by a 10th from City Posh, who unfortunately crashed out. Lennon P3, Boy Flag P4 after that very good lap. Wiltix P5, who's had a pretty quiet qualifying. I don't think I really spoke about Wiltix, but he's got himself up there. Onto podium P6, P7 is Prototype Steph, Nexus Jack P8, FTRL Hammer Time in P9, and Michael C rounding out the top 10. We'll go through the rest of the grid on the formation lap. Pagani says his car feels awful, but he's just hoping to keep his front wing down into turn 1. Well, I hope everybody keeps their front wing and we see a nice clean turn 1, but always easier said than done around here. Alright, so from the qualifying results, guys, let me know your top 3 in order and we'll shoot through them. Drivers just going through their strategies, having a look if there's any last minute things they can change. Here we go then. Formation lap is a go, and it's another pole position for the Ferrari driver. Currently leading the championship as expected. It is, you know, to be said, but all he can do is go out there and do the job, and he's doing that so far. City Posh Blue, quite unfortunate, as we have already said. He crashed out in qualifying. I'm sure he would have took the fight to Aaron had he been able to do another lap. Lennon, another driver who is having a very good season so far, had a couple of scraps with Aaron the last couple of weeks, so I'm sure he's going to look to jump that Renault and get chasing after the Ferrari. Blue flag with P4. Rotix, as we've mentioned, had a quiet qualifying. I don't think was mentioned, but he's got himself up there into a decent position, and I'm sure he'll be looking strong off the line. Onto the podium in the next Mercedes in P6. Prototype Steph having a little bit of a moment, it looked like, coming out of that corner, but I think he's just doing some over the top weaving. But he's in P7. Disqualified drivers of Nexus Jack and FTRL Hammer Time, I'm assuming they've hit each other, but they're bringing the cars to the line in 8th and 9th. As we mentioned, Michael C rounding out the top 10. A couple more disqualified drivers, Nexus Cats and Bendel, 11th and 12th. And as we mentioned, Pagani just having a little bit of trouble with his car, but I'm sure he'll just be looking to take it easy into the first chicane and looking to build from there. P13 for him. Peatman P14 in the Renault. Dunzo managed to get himself off that sort of bottom pack, bottom spot, got himself up to P15. Agent Panda in P16 in the McLaren. And the return for Rich T Gaming, or British Bean, I'm going to call him from now on, had an unfortunate crash in qualifying, brings the car to the line in 17th. And House of Zom, who had the controller disconnection, brings the car to the line in 18th. So here we go then. We'll see if we can get a good camera angle as we go for 5 red lights, and away we go. It's looking like a decent start for Lennon, as we see a lot of cars trying to get out the slipstream and make a move. Oh, it's a big crash. It's C-Posh. Oh no, absolute carnage into turn 1. We said it's not easy going into the chicane at Monza, and it has lived up to expectations again. Aaron obviously starting on pole position, got through cleanly I think, but he's got Lennon trying to make a move, who I don't think has got damage. Blue flag with City Posh crashing has made it up to P3. I'm hoping these guys don't have damage, but oh, there's a Williams off in the background there as well. Let's see if we can fly down to City Posh. No front wing for the Renault driver. Very unfortunate start. Oh, he's gone off as well. Oh, he's gonna hit the Haas. Oh no, it's been a horrible start. No, that wasn't. It was Peatman. Oh no, that's unfortunate. What a crazy start. Wow. So, at the end of lap 1, we have Peatman out of the race after going wide and running into the gravel. I think it was House of Zom that hit him, but he's not got any damage, so he got away with that one. Lennon lining up the move on Aaron. Moves to the inside of the first chicane, outside of the second. He's got the move done. A lot of drivers coming in, and City Posh picked up a penalty for speeding, so it's a new wing. Surprisingly, he's going back onto the supers. I would have thought he'd gone on to the mediums and maybe try and go to the end, as FTRL Hammer Time is doing. There we go. So mediums onto the Sauber, and out he goes. He'll be trying to go to the end now, I'm assuming. And same with the Force India of Willie Tix as well, I think. Yep. So, hectic start here in Italy. Lennon now has the lead. And I mentioned in the formation that Lennon would be trying to get past the Renault to take the fight to Lennon, to take the fight to Aaron, as he has done for the last few weeks. And here we go again. Let the battle commence. Nexus Cats and Prototype Steph having a little battle here. It's going to be a run down to turn 1. Who is ahead? Nexus Cats ever so slightly. No DRS yet. It will be activated this lap. So I think the guys behind will have it. Alright, so let's have a look then. Let's turn on the tyre. And we'll turn on the lap data. So I think Michael C's made a mistake. He has into the chicane. So he's dropped down 3 or 4 places there. Donzo into the points. Bendo, I think, has also made a good start. Let's just have a quick look at the positional changes. So Pagani up 6 places. He now runs P7. He's got a slight gap to the Mercedes in front. But it looks like he's pulling away from Nexus Jack. Behind Nexus Cats is making a move on Prototype Steph, and he's got it done. Just managed to catch the end of that. He's up 7 places. Great start from him. Donzo up 5. British Bean up 6. So the crash at the start has definitely shaken things up. Right, closest battle. Let's have a look. Agent Panda on the back of British Bean. He's gonna have the DRS. There we go. It flips open. I don't think he's close enough. Oh, he's gonna go for it. Agent Panda goes for the overtake. He's managed to get it done. He kept it clean. A Ricciardo style braking move there. British Bean might be having another look. He's gonna go around the outside. Oh, Agent Panda might have cut the corner a little bit there. But British Bean back ahead. He's fighting these guys off on the soft, so he's not doing that bad a job. Let's go back to the front then. Aaron just behind Lennon, right at his gearbox. He's already used quite a lot of his ERS as well, so Aaron is definitely pushing, and Lennon still has quite a lot, so it's going to be interesting. Aaron's moved out though. He's going to have the inside for the next corner, but Lennon has placed his car perfectly there and has held on. Whew, right, time to breathe just for a minute. 5 laps in. What a start. Marcus is loving the driving from the Mercedes boys. Pagani, I think, has actually got past onto the podium. But yeah, very good start. Very hectic start. Matt Cause, always nice to watch when it... Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know why mine seems to be better quality. No idea. The rest of the guys that stream have better internet than mine, so not too sure, but I'm glad you're enjoying it. Peatman says he got 1 tyre into the gravel and he spun out. Yeah, very unlucky. Collected by the Haas, of course. Not nice to see. But the race goes on. So Wiltix and Hammer Time are currently fighting out for last spot. I say fighting out, there's nearly a 6-second gap. But those guys, like I say, will be trying to go to the end on the mediums. Obviously both involved in the crash at turn 1 onto the podium. Getting back past the McLaren quite easily. Nice and simple from the Merc. I think this is the closest battle we have at the moment. British Bean and Agent Panda are actually still fighting out down in P11 and 12. Oh, that's just shot up by 0.6, so I don't know whether Agent Panda's made a slight mistake. Here we go then, running up to the DRS. Onto the podium is managing to get DRS from Prototype Steph, so that's helping him slightly. Matt Cole's just mentioning that Blue Flag was 4/10 behind Aaron, but has fallen back a little bit. I'll keep an eye on that, thank you. Alright, here we go then. The DRS train, Prototype Staff is going to be quite vulnerable here. Because he's quite far behind Nexus Cats. Yeah, onto the podium is really getting a lot of help from the car ahead. Right on the back of him now. Might make a move into the chicane. Moves to the inside, thinks better of it. Smart driving there from onto the podium. Pagani right on the back as well. Nice little train forming, should I say. Michael C is into the pits and comes back out on the mediums, so he will be going to the end for sure. 20 laps on the mediums. Locks up into turn 1 though and runs quite wide, so that will give Hammer Time a little bit of hope. Oh, Nexus Cats I saw there in the distance. Quite a few battles brewing here. Nexus Cats I'm sure will try and make a move into turn 1 with the DRS. Oh no, Blue Flag is picked. There we go then, onto the podium. Both cars going through. Pagani might be stuck out on the left here. No, he's managed to avoid a collision, but couldn't find a way through. Oh, a little bit of contact. Not a lot of space down here. Oh, that's great wheel-to-wheel racing from the guys in front. Wheel onto the gravel. Oh, that is narrow. Great driving so far though. Oh, Pagani just running a little bit wide, nearly lost the car. This is just allowing Nexus Jack to get a little bit closer. Prototype Steph trying to make a move. Oh, bit of contact. And Pagani's gone right up the inside. I don't think onto the podium got any damage from that. CJ cheering on Team Ferrari. Speaking of Team Ferrari, Aaron Pitts on the supers. Let's see what he goes onto the softs. Pagani holding P3 then currently. Onto the podium, into the pits as well, and putting on the mediums. Agent Panda in, I'm assuming we'll go onto the mediums from here. Oh, another set of supers. Now that is interesting from the McLaren man. Right, what's the closest battle we have at the moment? Blue Flag is on the back of his teammate. Ooh. Oh, Michael C's retired. I don't know whether he's just given up or whether he's had a bit of a crash. Onto the podium. Oh, virtual safety car. I thought he was slowing down to just let Simon through. Or blue flag, should I say, but turns out the virtual safety car's out. Right, at least it gives me a minute to catch my breath. Let's jump up here and take a look at these guys pitting. So, onto the mediums for Lennon. Softs going on to the McLaren. British Bean is in on the softs. I'm trying to see ahead. Is that the softs? His crew is invisible, but I think that's the softs, yeah. No, mediums, okay. Right, City Posh in after his crash. 8 laps on the supers. What does he go on to? He's serving his stop go as well for speeding. Onto the softs. Right, okay. So, blue flag. Oh no, onto the podium is actually a little bit closer to City Posh. I'm sure what happened at the start will be getting reviewed. Very unfortunate for City Posh. Dunzo with a 5-second stop go for speeding. He's come in on the supers. Yeah, so the gap between Lennon and Aaron now is 5.5 seconds. Like Matt Cause has said in the chat, Lennon got quite a bit of advantage from that virtual safety car. It seems to have calmed down a little bit now. House was into the pits. It looks like he will go onto the medium tyre. Willie Tix. Oh, onto the grass. He's going to lock up, I think, and go over the corner. Will give the position back? I don't think he is. Yep, okay. Very good from Willie Tix. That's what we like to see. Unless he was putting that very tactically and just trying to get the DRS, which isn't open. Got the move done anyway though, I think. Yep, so Willie Tix up the inside and gets the move done anyway. So Nexus Jack into the pit, out on the medium tyre. Nexus Cats out on the softs. So a lot of drivers going for a few different strategies here, which is going to be interesting come the end of the race. Oh, Willie Tix is retired. Where's he lost it? Oh, I think he may have run wide and it's hit the wall. Very unfortunate for Willie Tix. P5 in quali. I'm sure he would have been hoping for a very good result today, but hasn't worked out that way. Prototype Steph is right on the back of the Red Bull now. So slightly older tyres, but he looks like he's got the pace at the moment. Does have the DRS as well. So 3 drivers out so far. Onto the podium is on the back of City Posh as well. And it looks very close. So let's go and have a look what's going on there. Yep, onto the podium. Sweeps around the outside. And up into 13th. City Posh might try and come back at him though in the DRS zone. Go back to that in a minute. because these guys are coming down at the pit straight. Here we go. To the inside for Prototype Steph. He locks up over the corner. He's going to have to give that back. Yep, he does. Very ambitious move from Prototype Steph. I thought he was going to go for a move up the inside again there, but thought better of it. Pagani closing up to this little battle. I think there was a little slide from the Red Bull there. Yellow's in sector 3. City Posh. A lot of drivers struggling with turn 1 at the minute. We've seen a lot of guys go over that corner. So onto the podiums, back up into P13, but I'm sure that won't be the end of this. A little bit of a lock up from City Posh. And Pagani has got past Prototype Steph. And Pagani has the DRS as well on Nexus Cats. Nowhere near close enough to make a move. So we'll bide his time for another lap. I think these are the closest battles we have at the moment. Dunzo, however, is on the back of Agent Panda. Ooh, don't go for that, don't go for that. Ooh. I think Dunzo Dunzo definitely imagined that a little bit different in his head, I would think. I'm sure there'll be an apology after the race. These guys have switched around again. Okay, Bendel has let Aaron through. And Aaron now just needs to close down Lennon. It was 5.5 seconds when they came out of the pits, so it's come down quite a bit. Obviously Aaron on the softer tyre as well, so that's going to help massively. Nexus Cats has got back ahead of Pagani. Slight contact. I don't think that will do any damage. A little bit more contact there, I think, as Pagani's just trying to get round. Side by side into the second chicane. Who will hold their ground? Ooh, very close. Good driving though from the boys. Pagani gets the move done, and Prototype Steph now will be wanting to get a little bit of this action. Is he going to have a look up the inside? Ooh. DRS open. He's nowhere near close enough to make a move up there. I can see a silver arrow in the background as well. Oh, and Aaron has brought that gap down massively. Might even make a move into turn 1. He's got a lot of pace on these tyres now, Aaron. Lennon obviously trying out a different strategy. That's a lovely shot. Working the way down to the second DRS point, and Aaron is very, very close. We might see a move here. Hassan's on with a 3-second time penalty. Not quite yet. Not quite yet, but he is very, very close. Nexus Cats behind the blue flag now, so not entirely sure what's happened there. But the Mercedes is passed and Aaron takes the lead. Lennon won't give up with that fight though. Unfortunately, I don't think there's much he can do. So Bendel finally pits, 16 laps on those softs. He throws on the supers for the last 10 laps. Is Lennon going to make a move? Thinks better of it. Just letting Aaron know that he's there. Ravers has jumped in, asking what he's missed. Too much, mate. Too much to explain. Huge crash at the start. Death everywhere. Ooh. Blue flag with a 3-second time penalty. That could be big come the end of the race. Lennon, however, making a move on Aaron. He's going to try and go around the outside. He's got the move done before the corner though. However, Aaron will now have the slipstream yet again. Onto the podium and City Posh still battling away. Into the second chicane they go. A little bit of a lock up on the rear left from the Renault. They're coming up towards blue flags as well. Onto the podium, tried to pull out and make a move, but the lap car got in the way a little bit. Aaron trying to make a move into turn 1. Couldn't quite get it done that time. Lennon holds his position well. Down towards the second chicane to go. I don't think Aaron is close enough to make a move, so it'll just be biding his time for the next DRS point. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle. Car's starting to slide around a little bit more now. Onto the podium has fallen off the back of City Posh, and Nexus Cats has got back ahead of Blue Flag. Here we go. Saved a little bit of VRS, Aaron. I'm sure he'll flick it up into overtake. There we go. Down to the DRS line. DRS open. Lennon tries to defend the inside again. I think Aaron just has too much speed now at this point. Ooh, a little bit of contact. A little bit of pushing. Aaron gets the move done. But Lennon is not giving up there. Nexus Cats and Blue Flag switching positions again, but I'm just going to stay with this for a little bit. Lennon now will have the DRS. Too far back at this point, I think, but it'll get him closer. And we know how strong the slipstream is around here. Onto the podium now, over 2 seconds behind City Posh, so I'm not sure if he's made a mistake or not. City Posh now getting past Donzo for the final points position. 7 laps to go. Blue Flag still right on the back of Nexus Cats, but the other Nexus now is coming up behind him in the Force India, just half a second splitting those two. Lennon isn't close enough to make a move. And I don't think he'll be close enough to make a move down here either. I think he's just outbroke himself a little bit. Contact with Aaron. Don't think there was any damage. Oh, bit of a slide on the exit from Lennon. Buoy Flag has got back past Nexus Cats. Seven laps to go then. Peteman with the hashtag Team Ravers, even though Ravers isn't here. And Ravers comes back out with a hashtag Team Pete. Nexus Cats trying to go around the outside. There's not going to be much Blue Flag can do here. Oh, 5 second stop go for Lennon. They may have come together and Lennon's had to go over the corner. But that could be big for the end of the race. Gap a second now between the top two. Blue Flag has managed to hold on. Oh, Nexus Cats into the back of the Force India. We've seen that quite a few times this race. Lennon did it on Aaron a few laps ago. A couple of drivers just outbreaking themselves into that second chicane. Oh, onto the podium. Up the inside of Donzo. And down to P12, the Williams now. Onto the podium though, we'll be looking forward. Can just about see the Renault there in the distance. And that's what he wants. It may only be a point, but that's all that's needed at the moment. Let's have a look then. So it's just this little pack of three that are the closest battles at the moment. Nexus Jack closing in a little bit. Nexus Cats has actually fallen off a little bit. .4 seconds now, the gap up top. I think Lennon now is just trying to bring the car home. He knows he's got a penalty, so there's no point fighting. Around the final corner, Blue Flag will have that traction on the softer tyre, but he is on 15 lap 1 softs. You can see how that's just helped him. Oh, did I see rain? Did I see rain? There is rain. Now this is interesting. Okay. So, how much rain is coming? It's looking quite slippery out there already. It's all down to the call now. When do you pit? If you make the right call, you could gain a lot of time. So these drivers have a lot to think about. Lennon continues to drop off. Okay, so everybody stays out for now. I'm watching Pagani because he knows normally what to do in the wet conditions. Nexus Jack ever so slightly closer to the back of that Mercedes, and these guys stay out as well. And he's got a pretty good run here on blue flag. He's going to move to the outside of turn 1, but he'll have the inside for turn 2. But blue flag knows exactly where to put his car. A master at defending, and he proves that once again. This is our closest gap though, so now we just have to watch the clouds. Oh, Nexus Jack I think just outbroke himself a little bit, ran a little bit wide in the second part of the chicane, and a 3-second time penalty for him. Donzo into the pits. He serves his stop go, and the Inters are on the Williams. The first driver to stop. So let's see where he comes out and what his gap will be. I think House of Zombies quite far back. Yeah, he's literally a whole lap down on everybody. Aaron is coming through though. Ooh, not the best of timings. Oh no! Aaron massively held up by the Williams, and this has put Lennon right behind the Ferrari. Donzo out on those fresh inters, and Lennon has a run down now into the second chicane, up the inside, over the curb. Aaron I think's held it. Lennon goes for the switchback. Oh, he's going to take a look up here as well, and all this going on while the conditions are getting worse and worse. Great driving from these guys. DRS still working though, so DRS will be open. British Beam with a 5-second stop go. Lennon moving to the outside. Aaron just tucks in. Every time the Red Bull goes through that corner, it looks like the smoke coming out the back of his car. It keeps looking like he's about to break down. Aaron has the slipstream now. He moves to the outside. When will these guys pit? Donzo is falling off the back of Agent Panda massively, so I don't think it's time yet. House of Zom is in. Oh no, that's a set of supers. Oh, I'm not sure what's happened there. I don't know whether he's tried to come in for inters, but he's forgot to change it. I don't think these guys will actually even pit, to be fair. No points at this stage. There's so much going on. I didn't even bother looking to the top left. 1.5 laps to go. The rain coming down more and more, and if the DRS gets deactivated at the end of this lap, we could be in for a very interesting final lap. Yeah, look how cautious these drivers are taking it now. All on one tyres at this point as well. Aaron moves to the outside. He's got the run on the Red Bull. You don't really want to be going out wide on this corner, especially in these conditions. A little bit of a slide from the Ferrari onto the grass, and he's done well to keep it out the wall there. Manages to keep hold of the DRS, so he'll manage to claw this gap back a little bit. Sector 3, House of Zom is retired. Very unfortunate for him. Oh, Aaron's lost it! Into the wall. And he is extremely lucky not to retire there. If he stays close to Lennon, he might still jump him on penalties. But that mistake could massively cost him it. And Lennon is running away with it now. Nexus Cats, I think, has got past Prototype Steph and may even take a look at Bendel here as well. Oh, Aaron's gone off again. Oh, it's not looking good. Lennon is running away with it. Massive wing damage. And I think he's got a puncher. He has. He's got a puncher on the... Is that the rear left? Absolute disaster for the Ferrari driver. Scenes. Lennon will come round the final corner if he can keep it out of the wall. Little bit of a slide there, but Lennon will come across the line with a P1. Fantastic drive. The penalties will not matter. Aaron just trying to make it round that final corner. Pagani, I think he's going to let Aaron finish. I think he is. He slowed down massively. Pagani and Blue Flag will all be in a party with him, so I think they've just let him cross the line there. Very, very unfortunate from Aaron. Puncher on the last lap. And it's another P2. And the battle between him and Lennon goes on. Lennon with another win. Second win in a row now. Anyway, Pendle P5, Nexus P6, Nexus Cats P7, Prototype Steph P8. British Bean on his return to FTRL gets a P9 and a points finish. City Posh Blue as well after that disastrous start, hitting the wall and going all the way down to last place, managing to come home in P10 and at least getting a point. Onto the podium, misses out, unfortunately though, in P11. FTRL Hammer Time P12, Agent Panda in P13, just about to come across the line and finish his race. And Donzo, who made the call very early to go on to the Inters, didn't quite work out for him because, I mean, nobody else really pitted. But either way, P14 for Donzo is not too bad all in all. But wow, what a race. A Red Bull on the top step for the second week running. And I'm sure Aaron won't be too happy about that. Christian Horner looks very happy though. What a race. Wow. So, there's your final classification then. As we've said, the top 10 we've run through. Dunzo, like I say, finished P14. House of Zon P15 after retiring with a couple of laps to go, which is unfortunate. Willie Tix, Michael C and Peteman are the bottom three drivers, all DNFing, along with House of Zon. Quite a few penalties. Aaron and Bendel, the younger drivers in the top 10 without a penalty. And I believe FTRL Hammer Time didn't have a penalty either. No, he didn't. So a very good drive from him. So he still gets a point. Obviously, if you finish outside the top 10 without a penalty, then you get a bonus point. So not all too bad for the Sauber driver. So who do we have to get in? It was Aaron, Lennon and Pagani. So bear with me while the screen goes off. Invite sent. I don't have Lennon as a friend, so I'll have to quickly shoot him an invite as well. So we're joined by Aaron first of all. Just let everybody else get in. just while everybody's jumping in, if anybody's still watching, if you want me to ask one of these guys a question, stick it in the chat and we'll ask them. I've sent Lennon an invite. We're just waiting on him at the moment.
He does usually hold things up. Alright. Oh.
Maybe this win has gone to Lennon's head. Right, while we're waiting for Lennon, then we'll go to Aaron. Why not? Are you there, mate?
Yep.
So I mean, pole position. You know, obviously the best start you could have got. How was qualifying overall?
Yeah, well, it wasn't too bad, mate. I was trying to set a better time on the softs. And yeah, so ended up. I mean, my super soft run, I messed up the second Lesmo and a Scary, so I could have gone a bit faster. So I was a bit worried, but no, overall, yeah, it was alright, mate. I'm just going to suggest Lennon, by the way, because he said he's had no invites. We'll try and do it again.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I don't know if you want to try him.
Yeah, I'll quickly shoot him another one. But yeah, as you say, pretty good time on the supers. City Posh obviously had a little bit of a crash in quality, so wasn't quite able to give you that sort of fight back for pole position. But either way, like I say on stream, you can only do the job that's put in front of you. So pole position, best possible start. Onto the race, everybody got a pretty good start. City Posh had a massive crash, straight into the wall, which put him right to the back. Did you manage to? I mean, I'm assuming being at the front, you managed to get through that all right. City Posh didn't quite clip the back of you slightly or anything.
Well, I got a bit of a thump, but no, I mean I managed to get through fairly clean. So yeah, no, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, cool. And the rest of the race from then on, obviously we saw a huge battle between you and Lennon again throughout the race. And then disaster struck on the last lap. Unfortunately, was that just down to tyre wear, or did you clip the wall? Because I didn't quite see.
Well, I mean, first of all, I tried to get going a lap earlier on Lennon and get an undercut on him because he managed to get past, and his straight line speed was really, really good. I felt a lot quicker for the middle sector, but it was a case of it's so hard to get a good run sort of out of a corner because the track's so narrow. So I was having to kind of sit behind, and then, I mean, Lennon was doing a really, really good job. I was enjoying fighting him again. And then I tried to get the undercut on him, and then the following lap, Michael C retired and the virtual safety car came out, so Lennon got a huge jump on me.
Yeah.
So then I just sort of really took a lot of risks and pushed the car really hard. Managed to catch up, and after a few laps of fighting, managed to get past. And I was aware that my tyre wear was fairly high, but I mean it was more than manageable. I was kind of in a bit of a rhythm. Yeah, there was an unfortunate incident with a back marker, which was where I lost loads of my time.
Yeah, we caught that on stream.
Yeah, so I lost about 2.5 seconds there, maybe something like that, about 2 seconds. And because I know it sounds really stupid, but as you'll all know, like when you're doing league racing and stuff and you're trying to manage your tyres, any sort of crisp, sharp braking or evasive driving, it really sort of puts strains on worn tyres. So I don't know whether, because I was only about half a lap from the end of the race when I got the puncture, probably less than that. So I'm wondering, I mean, it's what could have been, do you know what I mean? If that didn't happen, you never know, I might have managed to hold on to it. I was managing that sort of gap to Lennon fairly well, because I think he overshot turn one, and then had to come on and rejoin, so which gave me a couple of seconds, and I was just kind of looking after that gap. But no, and then final lap, as I was coming on the second Lesmo, the car felt really heavy, and I was thinking, hello, what's happened here? And then I looked, and then I couldn't get the car back on track, so I was amazed I managed to bring it home and just beat Pagani on the line. But I mean, P2, I'm happy overall, but I'm obviously quite aggrieved at what happened prior to that.
Yeah.
So, but nevertheless, another brilliant battle with Lennon. I really enjoy racing him, and it's nice to be having those battles at the front, because it seems to be completely dead even on pace. But well done to him, he did what he needed to do, and yeah, on to the next one.
Aye, as you say, huge fight between you guys at the moment. 2 wins in a row now, obviously for Lennon. I mean, he has jumped in, so we might as well switch back to top spot and have a little chat with Lennon. So I mean, as you say, we've just been discussing with Aaron, obviously that little battle between you and obviously running wide and getting that penalty. Did you think it was over at that point for the race win?
Yeah, because I could have got, well, I don't know, it don't matter now, but I reckon I probably would have got the 5 seconds took off me, because I actually went through the three, the chicane thing, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It still gave me a penalty, but even though I said Aaron was still controlling the gap, and if it went for that back mark, I don't think I would have won. Like,
I mean, were you ever in two minds about whether to overtake Aaron coming up to that back marker? I mean, obviously we saw a quite a similar situation at Singapore in real life between Verstappen and Hamilton, where Verstappen thought it was a little bit unfair, so didn't really want to overtake him. But I mean, you seem right up for it, mate. Into that second chicane, you tried to make that move.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It might sound unsportsmanship, but it weren't me. I like Aaron a lot. He's one of the good old friends in that. But if he might not, but if he was in that situation, I think he might have gone for the move. I know he got slowed up in that, but he's still got a good 15-point advantage before this race, and I missed the first race as well. So in a way, it wouldn't have mattered as much unless I go on and win a championship. But
yeah.
I was always going to try for the move, but I wasn't going to try nothing stupid because it would have been, very stupid, obviously.
Yeah, no, I mean that's fair enough. Like I say, racing is racing at the end of the day, and if the opportunity is there for the race win, I mean, like I say, you've got to take it. I mean, coming up to the last couple of laps, then, I think you had a gap of around 1.2 seconds after Aaron made a slight mistake in the final corner. I think he got wing damage from that. At that point, I think you still would have actually lost it on penalties. But as you're approaching the end of the lap and heading into sort of sector 3, and you saw that gap dropping off, what were you thinking at that point? Thinking this is it, just bring it home?
Yeah, well, firstly, coming out of the first corner, I seen Aaron make a mistake on the exit or coming around that long right-hander going towards the second chicane. I seen him hit the wall there as well.
Oh, okay. I think I missed that.
Yeah, you must have missed it on stream, but he hit the wall coming that long right-hander, and I seen him do it, and I thought, if it ain't much damage, then he's still going to win the race. And then I seen him drop off in the next couple of corners, and I thought, all I'm going to do is take my time, turn the engine modes down, ERS was down, everything was down. I was hardly accelerating at one point, because I knew the 5 seconds I was clear of 5 seconds.
Especially with those changeable conditions at the end as well, and obviously nobody wanting to pit because it being right at the end of the race. Worn tyres with rain coming down is never a nice mixture.
No.
But I mean, we've touched on the title challenge ever so slightly. 2 wins in a row now. Obviously battling with the Ferrari. Do you think you can go on and push for that title now? I mean, pace is clearly there. Obviously, like you say, you missed that first race, but I mean, like you say, pace is looking extremely strong at the minute.
I think if I can, Japan is not my strongest track either, as like Aaron's, but if I can gain a lot of points on Aaron in Japan and Singapore, because they're the tracks he literally doesn't like at all, and the gap's a lot closer going into the final few races, I reckon I can win it. But I'm not going to say I can or not right now, because you never know. I could retire in the next couple of races and back to my normal self. So, but if I keep it clean and I said gain some points on Aaron in the next couple of races, what you don't like, then yeah, there's no reason why I can't win or challenge at least.
Fair enough. Well, congrats on the win, mate. Very much deserved. Intriguing battle to watch throughout the race. Right, on to a Mr. Pagani then in the Paprika car. Not the best of qualifyings, mate. You posted in the chat. I also had a little mention that it wasn't your strongest qualifying. We know you're a lot quicker than that. Was the car just not feeling it around this track?
I just couldn't hook a lap up and goal it, and then I went up on the first Lesmo, which ended up making sandcastles at the second Lesmo, so that was fun.
Well, onto the race. Obviously you were behind you know, the huge crash. Did you get through there without any damage? Just
Nope.
okay.
I got orange front wing damage on the left hand side.
Right, that's not the greatest. I mean, did you
I
see what
saw
happened from there?
Willy Ticks and I think it was City Posh in the wall on the left. And I was right behind Hammer Time. And Hammer Time had nowhere to go because they came back on the track. So Hammer Time started a spin. I've tagged the back of Hammer Time, got my damage, and then I don't know what happened after that. Hammer Time was backwards across the track.
Yeah, it was quite an eventful start. Definitely something I would advise watching back. But yeah, onto the race. Again, you had that sort of battle, sort of race along with onto the podium. Was that a good little battle between you guys again? You've been fighting quite a lot. You've been fighting quite a lot this season since his return.
It was a good battle because I overtook him. So I'm quite happy. I mean, I overtook him with orange wing damage. So.
Oh, there you go. Orange wing damage to match the orange car, mate.
But by onto the podium.
Didn't get onto the podium this week. Sorry, I had to put that one in there. But yeah, good result, mate. P3. At the end, I sort of went on board to see what was happening with Aaron. I mean, obviously, I'm assuming you were all in a party. Was it a decision not to overtake him? I mean, it looked like you were kind of laying off the accelerator there towards the end.
I was flat out. I was in overtake. I was in.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but coming out of the last corner, I was on 83% tyre wear on my rear left.
Ah, okay.
So I lit it up coming out of there and had the. But I had the 3-second penalty anyhow, so I wouldn't have got him.
Ah, well, there we go. Fair enough. Anyway, P3, mate, is not a bad result from P13.
I'll take it. Cheers.
No worries. Right, well, that's it then, guys. It's been a very good race. Hopefully everybody in the chat enjoyed it. I hope everybody who watches it back from Div 2 will enjoy it as well. We've got Challenge Championship tomorrow. Not entirely sure, obviously, whether that's being streamed or not. If it is, then we will be live at 8 PM as always. I'm not entirely sure what track it is. Does anybody know off the top of their heads?
No. It's the Australia full qualifying and then 25% race.
Well, there you go. First time full qualifying has been featured, I think, in FTRL. So if you don't want to watch that, then there's something wrong with you. And no, I'm joking. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.